is that something I've definitely have struggled with as somebody who used to be a Christian and got out of it because I didn't like the oppression of minorities. I didn't like how it justified slavery. I didn't like how it forces you to forgive abusers when you're not ready to. At least that's the type of Christianity that I grew up with. That's not to say that all Christians are bad or anything like that, but I grew up in the sect, the denomination of Church of Christ. And so that whenever I think of the term God, I think of that type of God that justifies slavery and oppression and capitalism and all of the the evil of the world. But anyways, I have 2 books I'm reading for sobriety outside of the Christian lens, which is Recoven, which is a Wiccan recovery book, and Staying Sober Without God. Both I found on Kindle for less than $10. And you don't have to have a Kindle, you can just download the Kindle app and you buy it through Amazon. So I wanted to read my notes. Anyways, let's get started. So Wiccan recovery. So it's like a coven, Wiccan recovery. Recovenant 2. I have come to understand that only a power more highly advanced than myself can restore me to sanity. Ask for and receive help from others. With a bell chant, she's got the whole Gaia in her hands. She's got the whole Gaia in her hands. She's got the whole Gaia in her hands, and she sure has hold of you. Everything is well and going according to plan. Okay, so those were the notes I had from Wiccan recovery. Now let's go on to Staying Sober Without God, which is the big one. Because you don't have to be. So anyways, let's just go on Staying Sober Without God. Step 2, trusted that a healthy lifestyle was attainable through social support and consistent self-improvement. These are my notes. We can't expect to remain free from addiction if we are still spending time with toxic people, avoiding processing our emotions, and engaging in unhealthy patterns of behavior. While a healthy lifestyle is a necessity, it doesn't need to happen overnight. In fact, it usually can't and probably shouldn't. A healthy lifestyle is best attained and maintained through small incremental changes. One of the best things you can do is perform a major reconstructing of your social life by spending a lot of time with healthy people. This is yet another reason meetings have a lot to offer. Regardless of whether or not specific meetings support your God-free approach, you should try attending them. Working step 2, staying sober without God. The goal is to cultivate a thorough vision of what you want your life to look like when you are free from the bonds of addiction. What will you be doing? What will your daily schedule look like? What will your goals be? What will you accomplish? What will your relationships look like? What kind of people will you spend your time with? What hobbies will you pursue? Where will you live and with whom? This vision is being created with the knowledge that you may never achieve it perfectly. Part of the joy of recovering is the fact that there are always new ways you can continue to grow and improve. Working this step means developing an understanding of what consistency may look like for you, as well as accepting the fact that it will be a crucial part of your recovery. These are my notes. Consistency is key. 10 things to be consistent at for recovery. The feelings through movement, identifying feelings, assertive communication, time management, feeling and expressing feelings through creativity, eating enough nutrients, taking my mood stabilizer, sober friends, sober social life, relaxing techniques for stress and anxiety. That was for me personally, because it asks you to vision what you want your life to look like when you are free from the bonds of addiction. That's what I put, because I feel like that is the healthiest thing I could focus on. This is also from the book. Once you can say with a fair amount of confidence that you are capable of achieving a healthy lifestyle through regular self-improvement, you're ready to make a commitment to doing exactly that, which takes us to step 3. And my note was focus on what's the healthy thing to do. So perhaps you need to make a meditation on a healthy lifestyle, envisioning a healthy lifestyle. So I'm going to ask the questions, because I'm going to do a miniature meditation right now. I'm going to repeat working step 2. The goal is to cultivate a thorough vision of what you want your life to look like when you are free from the bonds of addiction. So close your eyes. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's get into it. What will you be doing when you are free from the bonds of addiction? What will you be doing? Think about it. That's the first question. The second question is, what will your daily schedule look like when you are free from the bonds of addiction? This is where you should establish healthy, sober routines in your life. What will those routines or schedules be? 3. What will your goals be when you are free from the bonds of addiction? What will you focus on? What will you work on? What will you work towards? 4. What will you accomplish when you are free from the bonds of addiction? How will you be successful when you are free from the bonds of addiction? What will you be successful at when you are free from the bonds of addiction? What will you accomplish? 5. What will your relationships look like when you are free from the bonds of addiction? Who is going to stay in your life? Who do you need to get out of your life? Maybe you need to focus on assertive communication during this time and boundaries to stay sober with the people in your life. And that's how you find out who needs to stay and who needs to go. Assertive communication. You state an I feel statement, which is why part of recovery and working step 2 Step 2 is processing our emotions. Identifying feelings so you can state an I feel statement. I feel disgusted. I feel upset. I feel sad. I feel disappointed, etc. I feel disgusted, disappointed, upset when, and then fill in the blank. Watch out for you statements. The you gun, you. Never say you make me feel. It's I feel disgusted when you do this, when I hear you say this. At least I think that's how it goes. Look up assertive communication. Again, what kind of people will you spend your time with? It should be people who are good with assertive communication and accept assertive communication and listen to assertive communication and are sober, of course. Okay, next question. What hobbies will you pursue when you are free from the bonds of addiction? How will you spend your time? This goes back to what will your daily schedule look like? What hobbies are you going to pursue? And that also goes with what will you accomplish? What will your goals be? What hobbies will you pursue? Think about it. Last question. Where will you live and with whom? Make sure whoever you live with is understanding and supportive of your sobriety. They understand the importance of your sobriety. And they support you in your sobriety. Perhaps who you need to live with also needs to be sober. That is your decision. What kind of people will you spend your time with? Who you live with is like the outside of your coworkers. What kind of people will you spend your time with? That also needs to be asked. What type of coworkers do you need to spend your time with? What kind of coworkers will you spend your time with? And again, that goes back to assertive communication, and that goes back to identifying your feelings. So download a feelings wheel. Download it, screenshot it, print it, post it somewhere on the wall. Okay. And I'm gonna restate. This vision is being created with the knowledge that you may never achieve it perfectly. Part of the joy of recovering is the fact that there are always new ways you can continue to grow and improve. Consistency will be a crucial part of your recovery. And I'm going to state this lastly. Once you can say with a fair amount of confidence, that you are capable of achieving a healthy lifestyle through regular self-improvement, you're ready to make a commitment to doing exactly that, which takes us to step 3. Now, I'm still working step 2, working on consistency, working on processing my emotions, working on engaging in healthy patterns of behavior, working on spending time with healthy people. The second step, again, from staying sober without God is trusted that a healthy was attainable through social support and consistent self-improvement. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and it helped you in your sobriety. Even if you don't have a problem with sobriety, if you have struggles with impulsivity in toxic relationships, just anything unhealthy for you, the steps are all aligned with what is healthy. Because I'm going to read it again. Trusted that a healthy lifestyle was attainable through social